Today, we honor the curious minds that challenge the status quo, break barriers, and explore the unknown to unlock new opportunities. To ignite real change, let's embark the spark of this moment. Hello, everyone. I'm Karthik Pathak. I extend a warm welcome to all our incredible innovators to the elimination rounds of TUP Season X. Get ready to unleash your spark factor in this intense battle of brilliance because securing a win here is the ticket to the semi-finals of one of the most prestigious B school competitions in the country, the Ultimate Pitch Season X. So let's get started. At Reliance, we thrive on fresh ideas and innovation. It's deeply embedded in our core, shaping every aspect of our businesses and our social initiatives. The Ultimate Pitch was conceived with this spirit, serving as a platform for curious, pioneering minds eager to showcase their next big spark. Now, in our 10th season, TUP has evolved into an unparalleled journey. Continuing the decade long legacy, we flagged off the competition physically in the top 20 B schools across the country. At each of these institutes, we were met with enthralling audiences. The insightful sessions led by our visionary leaders truly sparked, uh, truly sparked curiosity and creativity. But that was just the beginning. We've expanded our reach, connecting with thousands of students through digital platforms and virtual events, sparking this competition into a pan India celebration of bold ideas and innovation. Now, it's with great excitement that I invite you to experience the magic of our campus launches and highlights of our pan India virtual launch with this video. Wow, what an incredible response TUP Season X has received this year. Over 22,800 registrations, more than 1,900 idea submissions, with 1 crore plus website impressions and 155,000 plus social media reach. The launch of TUP Season X was a huge success. And now we move on to the elimination rounds. A huge thank you to everyone for making this such a remarkable launch. TUP Season X kicked off with a bang. Innovators from across the country registered to showcase their spark factor and compete for the ultimate glory. Each idea was bold, visionary, and aimed at tackling real world challenges. Our evaluators worked tirelessly to ensure no submission went unnoticed, carefully selecting those that had the X factor and the extra spark over the others. Those exceptional teams with remarkable ideas have qualified for the elimination round of this ultimate competition. A big congratulations to all the teams advancing to the elimination rounds of TUP Season X. Kudos to each one of you for bringing your spark factor in this competition. Right. Moving on to moving on to our elimination round guidelines. Let's now do a quick rundown of what's expected to happen. I shall be calling out the team names. We will play their 3-minute video on screen. Then the teams will get 3 minutes to pitch their idea to the jury. This will be followed by a quick 4-minute Q&A. We request the teams to keep an eye on the timer. Also, post each team's presentation, we will have the jury take a minute to score the teams individually before we move on to the next team. You will be judged on 5 parameters: Your idea should be futuristic, solve a real world problem, challenge conventional wisdom, practice and scalable, and have a strong business case. So, what's in it for the winners? For the ultimate champions of this season, the national winners will take home a grand cash prize. And that's not all. We are thrilled to announce more rewards. The elimination round winners and runner ups will receive INR 50,000 and INR 25,000 respectively, along with exclusive T.U.P merchandise. National finalists will be mentored by CXOs of startups at Reliance, helping you ignite your spark factor even further. Additionally, all national finalists and select semi finalists will stand a chance to win pre placement interview opportunities. What's new this season X? National finalists and select semi finalists will have the ultimate opportunity to engage in self reflection and enhance their skills with Level Up. So get ready, bring your A game and give it everything you have got. But hold on, what's a competition without a stellar jury? We are thrilled to have some of the brightest minds from Reliance with us today. They will be closely assessing your presentations, evaluating your ideas, and will provide their inputs at the end of your presentations. So let's meet our jury. I am so thrilled to introduce our esteemed jury for this elimination round. We have here Mr. Abhishek Puranik, Vice President Treasury, and we have Mr. Sunil Kumar, Business Head, PBR and SBR. So, with that, let's get started. I'd like to call upon our very first team, the Adept Apparels.
Hi, I'm Shimantika Das and I'm a modern 25-year-old who, like other modern 25-year-olds, feels her most confident and most authentic self when her clothes reflect her true personality. Be it funky or be it serious, my outfit is my way of reflecting to the world who I truly want to be seen as someone who's strong and someone who's independent. However, in January of 24, I was face to face with a very rude awakening when I broke my leg for the first time. Being in a cast and wheelchair for 6 weeks, I came to realize just how frustrating something as trivial as wearing pants could be when you do not have full range of motion. I could also see with a new lens how my nanny, who'd recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's syndrome, got increasingly frustrated every day when something as minuscule as buttoning up her shirt every day was getting more difficult. After a lot of research, both online and offline, I came to understand that there is essentially no clothing brand or no clothing store that has clothes which are disability friendly. There is essentially no clothes on the market for people with disabilities. Which brings us to this moment here, where I pitch to you my grand idea of an adaptive clothing line for people with physical disabilities. Be it congenital, temporary, permanent, or acquired, the clothing line will aim to make strong individuals feel stronger by helping them dress themselves easier. I propose a clothing range inclusive of, but not limited to, apparel items like pants which zip up from the side, shirts that have magnetic buttons as opposed to the traditional ones, and tops which you can wear from the front or the back as opposed to wearing them from your neck, given that range of motion is then limited for people with disabilities. How does a company like Reliance benefit from this venture? Well, apart from dressing people to be their most confident selves, Reliance also benefits from the synergies of existing apparel brands under the Reliance umbrella. Not only does Reliance get the advantage of having in house experience and expertise in fabric and fashion, it is also a call for action to be the first renowned brand in India to venture into adaptive clothing. Also, according to the CMAI, adaptive clothing is a $16 billion industry with an estimated CAGR of 8.2%. In India, the population has a large segment of both adults and children that have varying degrees of physical disabilities, and the growing old age only pushes this segment forward. Awareness and demand for inclusivity also provide the perfect backdrop for venturing into this market, while recent trends also show a push towards fashionable and accessible clothing options for individuals with disabilities, which is only going to further the market ahead. So, from dressing grandkids to grandchildren, adaptive clothing has a huge potential in the Indian market. At the end of the day, at its core, it is a way to make people feel not only included but also their best self while looking like their best selves. With that, I come to the end of my pitch and I hope Reliance can take it forward. However, to everyone who took out their time to listen to me, thank you so much. I'm Shimantika from XIII Jamshedpur. Hi, panel. Picking up from right where we left off, we'll be looking at how Adept Apparels can benefit from this venture. Looking at a market size, we see that there's a 200 million plus population which grows at a CAGR of 1 to 1.5%, which shows us that the market is not only large, but the market is also steadily growing. However, it is also very tender time to enter the market, which we see with the upsurge in DEI initiatives, while also reporting that an increase of 20% was seen from 2018 to 2021 alone in disability representation in the media. When Tommy Hilfiger launched their Pioneer adaptive clothing line, they did 30 millions of dollars of sales in that 1 year alone, which shows us that this is not a wave, this is not a phase. The market is going through a revolution, and a brand like Reliance can benefit by being the first one to bring it to a country like India. Now, how do we segment the disability requirements of the people? We can segment them across five verticals. First being mobility and physical disabilities, primary dealing with limb issues, sensory disabilities, primarily covering people on the autism spectrum, cognitive and developmental disabilities, covering people with mental health conditions like anxiety and depression, chronic and age related health conditions, covering people with disabilities like arthritis and diabetes, and conditions which require medical assistance, which covers people who may have incontinent issues or may require physical devices and support. Then, looking at the competitor landscape, we can see that there's no one brand which focuses on affordable and accessible adaptive clothing. Brands like Hacksaw and Sealy's, while existing in the Indian market, make clothing which is not affordable, and they are not fashion apparel, they're medical apparel. How does a brand like Reliance benefit from its existing synergies? We see that they are pioneers and specialists in not only fabric but also design. With multiple private labels and in house brands, we can make forays into adaptive innovations in fabric and design, including but not limited to antimicrobial fabrics, fire resistant fabrics, thermal regulating fabrics, while also making ventures into design innovations like I said before, magnetic closures, open back, flat seams, tagless labels, and seated wear designs. The idea is to make life better for the population, the disabled and old age population, by looking at two user personas. We have teen Annie, who's an autistic and disabled teenager. She has sensory issues but wants to fit in. She's a teenager. She wants fashion apparel that looks like and makes her feel included with her peers. While we also cater to people like Granny Mamta, who's old and suffers from arthritis. The adaptive clothing present in the market makes her feel older than she is. What we're trying to do here is empower people through empathy and make them realize that they may be different, but they are never less. Again, hammering on to the benefits for Reliance, we see that we can have creative destruction in the space while gaining from first mover advantage, while also having brand expansion under the Reliance umbrella and leveraging our existing synergies of sales and distribution, advertisement, etc. The idea is largely scalable, which requires little to no technological intervention to the existing technologies we have in house, while we also foster a sense of trust and loyalty among our customers while gaining from economies of learning and economies of scale. We also see that we can leverage our existing partnerships and ambassadorships to create an unparalleled experience for adaptive clothing and people with disabilities while driving the point home. We are empowering people through empathy, and they may be different, but they are nevertheless. That was the end of my pitch. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thanks so much, Shamantika, for this presentation. So you mentioned about Reliance having the first mover advantage. So I understand that there are already few players in this segment, right? So why are you calling Reliance to have the first mover advantage?
Sorry, didn't
Right.
realize I was on mute. Sorry. Thank you for the presentation and interesting idea. But can you run us through some financials out here? Because you kept mentioning that Tommy Hilfiger, etc., would be in the premium range, whereas we should target the mass range, etc. So where do you think? Have you done any analysis on that front?
Right. So I'd like to answer Sunil's question first, if that is okay. Coming back to the point of being the first mover, when I talk about being a first mover, I mean first mover in the fashion apparel or in the adaptive apparel range. The existing players make medical apparel. So the players that I was talking about, Hacksaw and Sealy's, it is medical grade apparel which does not cater to the masses. It is extremely unaffordable as well. When we talk about being first movers, we talk about catering to the people who do not have access to exorbitantly price tagged clothing. It is people who want fashion apparel and multiple apparel as well. It is not that one shirt that caters to their adaptive needs. It is multiple shirts that they might need. So first mover in that range being the not maybe premium or medical grade apparel, but it is adaptive apparel for everyday needs and fashion apparel as well. Running into Abhishek's question, Sunil, did that answer your question, or would you require some
That's
extra?
fine. Yeah, that helps,
Uh,
Shamantika. That thanks. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Abhishek, answering your question, looking at the financials, while talking about adaptive apparel, we see that India does not have any, like I said before, fashion apparel or fashion brand which caters to adaptive apparel, right? So when we talk about Tommy Hilfiger being a player in the premium range, it is only an experimental brand that they started out in 2021 itself, which being premium, they made $30 million in sales. While looking at the financials for an India perspective, the financials that I ran with minimal intervention, like let's say advertisement being in the form of people or mannequins in wheelchair in store, we should be looking at sales primarily on the lower range of 10 to 20 million dollars, looking at a 200 million plus population size which we can cater to, which will have a steady growth of 8%, looking at the fashion trends across the market. Why I'm able to say that is because we are not making medical grade apparel, we are making fashion apparel, so it should follow the standard industry trends which we see across the industry, given that it is a fashion and apparel industry that we're venturing into. And this is according to the CMAI report. So this is the
So
average
that's
trend.
okay, but that's
Yeah.
okay. But when you want to recommend or when you want to launch a product, you should have done some pricing analysis. No, where do you think that you mentioned about 20% growth, etc. But is there any segmentation which you have done in terms of what is the income breakup? Where do you think the sweet spot lies in terms of where you could potentially price this? Because having a product just for the sake of it doesn't make sense, right? It should be marketable, it should be sellable, and people should be able to afford it to buy. And since you mentioned this, you want to push it in the affordable range segment, I would like to know what is the kind of pricing that you are proposing for this and why.
Right. So, given that we're looking at an affordable range segment, we are also recognizing that India has a largely growing population with disposable income. Disposable income is also growing, and the population with disposable income is also growing. Positioning in the affordable sector and not in the premium segment, we're targeting people in tier one and tier two cities primarily, and position and pricing it in the range of regularly priced fashion apparel. So. Currently in the market, like I was talking about the medical grade apparel, one single t-shirt with adaptive clothing being opening and front buckling enclosure, they range from the 4,000 to 6,000 rupee range. What I propose is not propose it's not pricing it at that range. I propose pricing it in the affordable range, which may range from 500 rupees to 1.5 thousand rupees, which makes it not only affordable but gives people the chance to buy multiple of the same kind. It is not again one t-shirt that you can buy that solves all problems. Since it is fashion, you can buy multiple of them. Given that we already have in-house brands like Rio, Performax, and Netplay, we'll be pricing them along the same lines with segmentation within them. We can have premium segments in terms of shirts which grow from the 1.5k to 2.5k, but also t-shirts which range from 500k to 1k, given that we give them multiple options while also giving them quality and the added benefit of the clothing being adaptive, growing into this segment. So we are targeting people with disposable incomes while giving them the opportunity to repurchase from us again and again.
Okay. And in terms of the cost of manufacturing out here, what do you estimate the cost of manufacturing to be? Because you can't, can you use the same uh, assembly line to basically produce, or you need a additional investment? If so, what is the kind of investment you need? When do you think you will break even, and what is the return on capital employed?
Right. So, given that adaptive clothing is a design and fabric invention, we can leverage the existing assembly lines or the existing manufacturing processes that we have. The only difference will be in the design of the clothing. Given that there may be some interventions or some changes required in terms of the kinds of fabric that we produce, that may be an incremental change, which we can incremental innovation, which we can adapt as we grow. So, for To primarily start out in year one alone, we will be able to leverage our existing assembly line sales and distribution and advertisement channels, and breaking even will be a result of the sales that we get. Given that a cost of producing a t-shirt at the base manufacturer level today might be 100 rupee or a 50 rupee in intervention, adaptive clothing will go along the same lines of cost. When we grow into let's say fire resistant fabrics or thermally regulating fabrics, this is an invention that we already have in house with brands like Recron, which we are experimenting with textiles and fabrics. So bringing those innovations in house into fabric as a fashion apparel, we'll be able to break in given adequate amounts of sales, and given that we are projecting to a 200 million population with 1.5% CAGR, we should be able to break even within the first 6 to 8 months, with return on capital having a margin of the traditional margin that we see across retail brands right now, which is 40 to 60%. So, 6 to 8 month projection timeline with 60% return on capital, given that that will be our margin in year one alone.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thanks, Shamantika.
Thank you.
Wow, that was an incredibly insightful presentation. Thank you, Team Adept Apparels. Moving on, we are now ready for our next team. I'd like to call upon Team Eco Solutions.
Good morning, this is Jemima Pane and Radhika Raj, and today we are excited to present to you an innovative solution to one of the most pressing challenges in urban development: urban heat islands. Our business, EcoShield Solutions, is designed to combat the harmful effect of urban heat islands through green roofing and eco friendly construction materials, creating sustainable, cooler, and healthier urban environments. As cities grow, they tend to trap more heat due to the concentration of concrete, asphalt, and other traditional construction materials, creating heat islands that significantly raise temperatures, which leads to higher greenhouse gas emissions, increased energy consumption for cooling, reduction in urban livability, and biodiversity. In the given table, we can see that in Delhi, the urban area was 4.9 degrees Celsius hotter than the rural surroundings, with a daytime temperature of 33.4 degrees Celsius and a nighttime temperature of 25.1 degrees Celsius. Ahmedabad had one of the highest urban heat islands intensities, with the city being 4.6 degrees Celsius warmer than its rural area. The data also shows sources like Indian Meteorological Department, NASA, and research papers. This table helps to highlight how cities trap more heat, causing the urban heat island effect, which can increase discomfort and energy use. EcoShield Solutions offers a true prolonged approach to mitigating urban heat islands. Green roofing, installing vegetation-based roofs which help to absorb heat, improve air quality, reduce energy costs, and even offer additional usable space for urban farming or recreational areas. Eco-friendly construction materials, utilizing materials such as reflective coatings, sustainable insulation, and other energy-efficient building components to minimize heat absorption and energy uses. Our service directly addresses urban heat challenges while providing multiple benefits, such as cost efficiency. Green roofs can reduce cooling costs by up to 30% and extend the lifespan of roofs by 2 to 3 times. Solutions lower carbon footprints by reducing the urban heat effect and reliance on air conditioning. Cooler cities means less heat related illness and a better quality of life for residents. EcoShield Solutions operates as a B2B service provider, partnering with property developers, city governments, and commercial building owners to offer consultation services, installation and maintenance service, and customization solution based on specific urban needs. Our EcoShield solutions stand out with a holistic approach to urban heat mitigation through both green roofing and eco-friendly materials, partnerships with top-tier sustainable material providers, a commitment to using data-driven insight to offer customized, high-impact solutions, and call to action. We are seeking investors and strategic partners to help us scale our operations, reach more cities, and create greener, cooler urban environments. Join us in making a tangible impact on the future of urban living. Thank you for your time and consideration.
A very good morning to all the panelists out there. I Radhika Raj
I, Jemima Pani.
and okay, so we are the first year student of MBA in Urban Management and Governance from XIII University Bhubaneswar, and we are here to present our business strategy on eco solution. So our objective of our business is to develop and implement sustainable solution that mitigate urban heat islands, enhancing community well-being and reducing the energy cost and promoting the environmental resilience. First we look at the SWOT analysis of our business idea before moving towards the roadmap. What are the strength, weakness, and threat and opportunity? Strength. When we took an analysis, we took out that strength consists of cutting edge products. Secondly, it drastically lowers the temperature and improves the air quality. Second, coming to the weakness, it is the capital intensive business strategy which has a huge initial investment. Coming to the threat, it has a high upfront cost and low UHI effects and a green infrastructure. Coming to the opportunity, the it has a policy support, it has an educational program initiative to boost community awareness.
Before stating any business model, we should know the roadmap that we should follow. Starting with a design of our business model. Business model should be flexible and also collaborative team. It should always be a sustainable and community well-being, considering it promotes to a community well-being. And then we should follow a product and capacity design, where capacity planning, we should think about the capacity planning, where we think about the cool roof, green walls, and also we should focus on user friendly and customizable product. Because we know humans are the greatest asset, we should always think about the human resources and job design. We should always recruit people for hire individuals who are passionate about the work. Thinking about the supply chain management, we should think about the local suppliers, we should partner up with them and also minimize the carbon footprint.
Now, for next, we have inventory management, maintenance and designs, and sustainable integration, which helps us in using software efficient for inventory management and maintenance support, and it creates channel for customer feedback.
When we talk about a business model, we should always think about the financial budgeting. Our business may consider want a certain huge amount of initial investment, but the return of investment is in a quite less time, which is in a 1 year. As we have taken a hypothetical data here, we considered that the initial investment should be of 21 to 20 lakhs, and also we will get the return of investment around 12 1 lakh 25,000. So why should you or anyone else invest in our business? Because it would reduce the temperature of our homes, of our house by 30 degrees of Fahrenheit. Along with it, it would reduce the citywide temperature.
Then the current impact of urban heat islands, which was the increased energy demand and the various health impacts, which includes health related illness, respiratory diseases, and the loss in economic costs like productivity in work, etc.
Thanks, team. Thanks for the presentation. So we see that you mentioned that the initial investment is only around 21 lakhs. Don't you think this is uh, too low investment? Because even if you get some small space, the initial setup cost. Now, if you're going into this kind of a product where the cost, I mean, the product cost itself would be high, there would be some inventory cost. So I just want to understand how did you arrive at this 21 lakh, because this definitely looks little too optimistic. And the second question would be, you're looking at ROI from a business perspective. Though I'm still not comfortable with the number that have been given here, you can discuss that. But you also need to look at this from the ROI from the perspective of the user who is going to implement it. For example, today if you see that there are incentives for installing solar panels on the individual private houses as well, right? But still, people are not opting for that because of the ROI, right? In that case, if that product is not scalable in terms of finally, if that product is not scalable at this stage, how do you think this product, which is even more costlier, people would go for this kind of investment?
The thing is that, answering to your question, thank you, sir, for your insights. Actually, the thing is that this is a very growing market, and this is a very new market itself. It has been introduced in 2022. This market base has been in India itself in 2020-21. The major market is in North America, and they have established it in a very efficient way. So if because it's a blooming market, so I think currently the financial things, and these are all hypothetical values, we would have to do a more in-depth research about the costings, but that's the thing, is because this is a very blooming market. So we think that the at the beginning of the ROI, we should not consider ROI at the beginning of the business itself, and we should just go for it, because we are only 2 degrees more till we melt. This is our tagline for our business model. So we should always think about a
But but,
sustainable way.
but you do. Is there any other player already doing something of the on these lines in Indian market already? Any idea?
Yes, sir. They are also doing um the brand name Lafarge and BASF. There are two brands which are very successful doing this kind of business. Who, who actually
So
they
in
does.
the
Yes, sir.
so in the Indian market share, we have seen that the sustainable product market is mostly of 18.5%. So there is a lot of work to be done. As we can see that in the current years we have seen the more usage of using more advertisement and implants of using what the sustainable market and sustainable share. But when we look at the registered company that has been using sustainable products and applying it, it's 18.5%. So we have a lot of work and lot of scope to do it. And I think we do not need to think about the ROI, as it it's only 18.5% in the market, and we have a lot of scope and opportunity.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, team. Yeah, Abhishek, over to you.
I didn't understand how is this relevant to Reliance business model first, and how does it fit into our whole product portfolio? Or are you saying we should enter a completely new business segment and compete in a already competitive market?
Thank you, sir. Actually, in today's world, everyone is finding to be sustainable, how to contribute to the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. And we think that this project would be a great input to such goals. So, currently may not Reliance may not be aligned with these goals, this business ideas, but maybe it has a future with it.
No. So, in terms of sustainability, I don't know how much you have read about Reliance, but in terms of what we are doing, so let me tell you one thing: how this particular thing works technically is that you make in the business verticals which you operate, you try and implement sustainability in those business verticals. Like we are doing a lot of things in terms of reducing the use of plastic, or you make it make multiple uses of plastic and stuff like that. So that is something which we are already doing in terms of SDG goals. But the question is that now, as you also mentioned, that we should not look at ROI. But okay, I will not look at ROI potentially if I am, getting into sustainability in my existing business vertical. But do you think it makes sense to not even look at ROI and just jump into some new business which is not even relevant in my business portfolio today? or make the existing business verticals more sustainable? What do you think I should do?
Um, Thank you for the question, sir. As we know that Reliance also manufactures cement and mobility and polymers products, so we can also venture into this kind of market into the Reliance, because sir, talking about this is only the future. uh, Talking about like traditional use of cement and all, this will always increase the carbon footprint of our country. So we have to look at diverse and a broader aspect of our business so that we can contribute to our country and at a global level.
No, no. Just to correct you, we don't produce cement.
Okay.
Sir, I want to add to it. As we know that Reliance is definitely getting involved in the sustainable development goals, and but we as a company we would like to say that Reliance should also like invest in should also invest in how to sustainably manage its work. Like, it is definitely doing a great work in sustainability management, but our company values that we should to increase its capacity in sustainable building, such that we know that Reliance is a part of the sustainable is using the sustainable development goals, but in consulting and in any kind of work. And sustainability is a global market which is increasing day by day. And if Reliance invests in this, it will be a huge opportunity for us as well also.
Thanks, team. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Team Eco Solutions. That was an incredibly insightful presentation and a fantastic approach to to tackling the sorry. Yeah, that was a great solution. Moving on, we are now ready for our next team. Let's now allow a jury a minute to complete scoring the teams. While they make their assessments, let us have some fun. We'll have an interesting trivia question about Reliance. All you need to do is to try to guess the answers in the comment section. The first person to answer correctly gets our amazing TUP merchandise. Ready? Here we go. Nimit Vora, you've guessed it right. Please reach out to us on our social media handles or support@unstop.com. Now let's move on to our next team. I'd like to invite Team SSN. Here we go.
Imagine receiving the hidden gem of India, handicrafted pottery from Jaipur, authentic spices from Kerala, or an immersive cultural experience like a local recipe or a workshop voucher delivered to your doorstep every month.
Lokhat brings the hidden treasures of India to your doorsteps. Each box features handcrafted products made by local artisans, offering an authentic connection to India's culture. Experience true craftsmanship while supporting the artisans who make it possible.
Across India, artisans work with passion but may struggle to sell their creations beyond their local market. Our country's vast talent remains hidden, while urban consumers, especially millennials and Gen Zs, yearn for meaning in what they buy. Mass market products don't tell a story, they don't carry the weight of tradition. With the subscription box, the market is projected to grow at 18% annually. But there is a gap. Most services offer generic goods. Lokhat fills this gap by connecting the dot, bringing hyper-local, curated treasure directly to urban homes. Lokhat, an experience rooted in the soil of our land, connecting artisans with those who seek something more. Each month, subscribers receive a curated box designed around their region or what they have subscribed for, featuring handicrafted products, whether it's ceramic from Jaipur, or spices from Kerala, or textile from Varanasi. Each box includes stories behind the artisans, recipes, and cultural experiences that make it more than just a delivery. It's a gateway to connecting with the land, the people, and the essence of India. Reliance is the perfect partner for scaling this experience. With its vast retail network, we can source products directly from local artisans, and through Reliance logistic infrastructure, we can ensure each curated box reaches homes across India, whether in blustering metros or quiet hometowns in Tier 2 or Tier 3. Through GeoMart, subscribers can easily manage their preferences with a single tap, creating a seamless experience. This isn't just a product, it's a movement. Lokhat supports artisans and preserves India's craftsmanship while giving consumers a personal connection to their heritage. Together with Reliance, we can scale this experience nationwide, driving sustainable revenue growth and reconnecting people with the rich diversity of India. Let's build a new layer of community engagement, one handcrafted box at a time.
Good morning, everyone. Taking further, our innovative product, Low Carb, fills a crucial gap while 70% of urban consumers visit chain store, only 15% local businesses apply them. Platform like XIII and Airbnb focus on tourism, not locals. With 85% of local small businesses struggling with visibility, our subscription box target locals seeking authentic cultural experiences, addressing need for hands-off discovery of regional products. With subscription box growing 20% globally, our hyper-local personalized service offer relies a unique competitive edge, strengthening its community engagement and expanding its footprints. Using a targeted digital marketing, we aim to capture urban millennials and Gen Zs with projected 5% trial rate in the first year. Starting with the metro areas, we expect 70% subscriber retention rate, which we will driving up with the loyalty program. Our advantages: high personalized regional integration and partnership with local artisans. Challenges: logistics and personalized potential brand competition. Our hyperlocal focus and strong cultural ties gives a distinct edge. Shubhangi will be taking further.
Lokhat is a unique subscription box service operating in both B2B and B2C markets. For B2B, we provide custom corporate gifts and event boxes with local artisan products. For B2C, the monthly boxes deliver regional crafts and recipes to millennial Gen Zs and culturally conscious customers. Our model disrupts traditionally by bringing hidden local gems directly to the consumers. We plan to expand with physical experiences, offering vouchers for hands on session with artisans like pottery, traditional cooking, creating a deep cultural connection. Our five-phase strategy begins with sourcing authentic products, piloting in tier 1 cities, and leveraging digital marketing. As we grow, we'll expand into tier 2 cities like Pune, Jaipur, Kochi, etc., and introduce seasonal boxes and adapt to feedback from consumers. And marketing will focus on social media influencers, collaborations, and pop up events to connect with our audience. Starting in major cities, our value chain emphasizes authenticity, eco friendly delivery, and seasonal themes to keep our offerings meaningful and sustainable. Nitisha will continue further.
Talking about our revenue streams, it would be a subscription based model where we would have three pricing tiers: basic box, standard box, and a premium box. There would be various things into this box. Talking about our finances, we are targeting 1 lakh people for the first year, and our revenue would be mounting up to 216 crores. By the second year, we are targeting for 441 crores. We are trying to get this done through various promotion strategies such as building good customer relationship, upscaling, and cross-selling techniques as well. So, in conclusion, I would like to say our pricing strategy and financial outlook at Lockhart is for substantial growth by offering flexible pricing and retaining customers through personalized experiences. Hello, sir. We are open to any question and answers.
Yeah, team. So I'm not sure if you're already aware that Reliance is already doing something on these lines where we do promote local artisans and all, right? We may not have a subscription-based model that you are talking about, and the way I see it is, uh, when you're saying subscription-based model, a subscription-based boxes, right? So why would somebody go for I mean, if you're providing a platform where you're giving the customers to choose from multiple things in terms of crafts, handlooms, and others, and then asking them, I mean, then allowing them the opportunity to buy whatever you want. That would work rather than a subscription-based box that you are mentioning. Or let me know if there's understanding gap from my side.
Certainly, sir. Talking about first, we are looking forward to the culturally conscious customer, the Gen Zs, and moreover to the event planners and for corporate gifting. And say moreover, due to the invent of quick commerce, we know that suppose in a Diwali season somebody forgets a box, or in a birthday somebody forgets a gift for her sister, it's almost possible for them to get it done in no time. And secondly, sir, talking about why would we like turn this into a subscription model and not give the liberty to the customer to choose from the rack of things, is because that would give us a certainty to make a list of things that we can sell and we can make into a basket of goods, so that we have a certainty and control over the goods that we are selling and make a profit out of it.
So, but see, if I'm an individual customer, right? In that case, for me, makes more sense to go for a not for a subscription rate. For example, if it's Diwali, my box could be something different. If it is Dashara, it could be something different. If it's a birthday, one of birthday cases also, right? Then the kind of or the amount or the value. I mean, the box that I want, right? It could be different. The items in that box would be different. So I'm still not very sure. I mean, why you are still calling a subscription box is not clear to me, unless I'm missing something.
Certainly, sir. Because in our pricing PPT, we did mention about the three pricing strategy, where we are trying to price our basic box as at around 1800, which would have one or two small artisan product, and our standard box at around 2700, and our premium box at around 4800. And so when it again, if somebody wants to get some add-ons into it, it would range around 300 to 1000 rupees per item. And when it comes to festive or special edition boxes, we are trying to price it around 4500. So, in general, we are trying to give them a liberty and a choice if at all they need to make some addition into it or not. But the basic variety that we are giving them is limited.
Got it, Tim. Thanks.
Hi. Uh,
Hello, sir.
so could you walk us through how 1 lakh subscription, which you mentioned in the first year, translates into 216 crores of revenue?
Yes, sir. So I was just request Shubhangi to move to the previous slide. Here, as we can see that our boxes are gonna be around somewhere 1800 for the basic box. So the basic box, if we suppose that 40% of the people are gonna buy this, then it would mount up to 72 crores. Then coming to standard box, which is around 2700. So if 50% of people buy that, it will be around 135 crores. And similarly, if our premium box is 4800 per box, and 10% of only our customers goes for it, then it total mounts up to 216 crores.
So this means that every month a subscriber is paying 1700 rupees, is it? For a
No, sir,
basic
it's
box?
not going to be per month. It's going to be once you buy the product. Like suppose you want to buy this for this month, then the box would be of that much amount. So, like, if
So
at all I talk about,
no, no,
sorry,
no.
sir.
So simple question. If you divide very basic 216 crores by 1 lakh subscribers, that amounts to
Yes, sir.
21,100 rupees. Now,
Yes, sir.
how do you translate that if now you further divide that 21,600 by 12? Is that what you're saying? Which means my annual subscription for any person who's logged into Lockhart is 21,600. So I'm going to spend 21,600 every year. Is now is that economical? That's the question.
Certainly, sir. I get your question. Uh, So, but we are just trying to possibly rule out this situation that not necessarily everybody would be willing to buy something every month. But as we know that Diwali and Dashera comes up nearly in the same time, and we need to gift out to nearly 2 to 3 friends of ours or our immediate families, and like every family saves up for this festivities right since the beginning of the year. So I believe that would be the major time when we would be able to get a proper hunch of nearly 15,000 or something from each customer. Like if at all they take 3 or 4 boxes of ours.
But which means that you are banking on the whole business model on 2 or 3 festivals. So it's not a year-long model where you can keep earning revenues. Now, given
No, sir.
that situation,
No,
how
no,
do
sir.
you
That's
explain how do you explain the producers of these goods who are on to this particular platform? How do you provide them a sustainable livelihood throughout the year?
So
sir.
how? Yeah, Supriya, please.
No, continue, sir.
So basically, how do we ensure them a sustainable livelihood throughout the year is because as we have like 3 different boxes, which is starting from 1800 to 4800. So basically, birthdays are something that comes up every month for every families. So something like that. And as we have a limited edition, like we are not giving the liberty to the customer that they can pick something from Rajasthan and the other from Karnataka. That will be something very much region specific so that we can carve upon our logistics as well as the liberty and the control with us to customize the box. And secondly, sir, because we here we would also be focusing on the BTS, and we would give small cards that would narrate the stories of these artisans, basically driving a generic demand and outreach for them.
So, in addition to that, the local artisans will be given heads up about when they are coming, when we will be having a more like a partnership with them, so that their products get sold out with the on the e platform.
And adding to it, sir, we also have bulk orders for corporate gifting and special events. So we'll also be functioning as a B2B for the corporates. So
Which,
off peak seasons, we could also cater to their needs.
okay, and don't you think that if I have gifted this one product once, how many people are likely to stick on to it year, every birthday, and what is the kind of attrition which will happen versus how do you get the new customers? What is that ratio? Have you worked on that?
For the
So
ratio,
currently,
continue, Nitisha.
yeah. So currently we are aiming at a retention strategy of 70% rate for the first year. Given that, as Shubhangi did mention, that we would be like reaching out to the event planners and the corporate for corporate gifting as well. So we believe that if we are able to meddle with our pricing strategy when going for bulk orders, uh, and given that it's a perceived value to the customer, we would be able to cater to this problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team SSN. That was an incredibly insightful presentation. Moving on, we're now ready for our next team. I'd like to call upon Team Igniters.
Hello everyone, we are Team Igniters from I am Shillong. As you have already seen the video, the global markets for these tiles is projected to reach $51 billion by 2030. India's initiatives like 100 Smart Cities and Green Railways project align perfectly with this technology, as also seen at Tokyo's railway station that it can generate 150 watt per meter square of power, highlighting the same potential for Indian railways. We also conducted a pestle analysis in which we identified factors like Government of India recently aiming to produce 500 gigawatts of renewable energy annually by 2030. And also, we identified that India is advancing to battery storage technology, as seen as we are seeing that Reliance is also establishing Dhirubhai Ambani Green Energy Giga Complex in Jamnagar. Our major customer segments include B2B and B2G. Now, these tiles offer a compelling value proposition by reducing energy costs and grid dependency, requiring low maintenance and acting upon climate change.
In our comparative analysis, we found that while thermal power plants generate more energy, they come up with steep capital and operational costs. In contrast, piezoelectric tiles have much lower electricity cost per unit, that is 3.87 compared to 7 for solar and 6 for thermal. Moving on to value chain analysis, beginning with R&D, identifying optimal locations across India and selecting materials suited for local climates. Secondly, material sourcing and tech procurement. We can partner with Asahi India Glass Limited for sourcing quartz and can leverage Reliance's Jamnagar facility for polymer and battery storage technology. Tile manufacturing and customer customization will ensure durability through the integration of these quality materials. During installation and deployment, we can partner with DMRC and Indian Railways to place our tiles at Rajiv Chowk Metro Station and New Delhi Railway Station. Moving on to implementing real-time energy monitoring with cloud-based dashboard, we can leverage Geo's partnership with MediaTek. Finally, for maintenance and customer service plan, there can be quality audits and recycling options via reverse logistics. Moving on to the next slide, coming to its five-phase implementation step. First being R&D, which we discussed in the previous slide. In the next phase, we will identify pilot locations, launch MVP, and gather customer feedback. The third phase includes targeting Delhi airport and religious places. The fourth phase includes market development and product development, and the last stage of implementation focuses on sustainability of tiles.
We also analyze scalability via Ansof's matrix, where we can partner with municipal corporations to penetrate the market further. For developing new markets, we can target either tier 2 cities, educational institutes, or we can also research about expanding internationally. New product development can further be scaled by integrating air purifier modules into the tile or adding a layer of hydrophobic materials, as we already suggested in customizations. Lastly, we can diversify by incorporating this technology into products like shoes or chairs, cushion, mattresses, etc., to launch new products in new markets. Thank you.
Thank you, team, for the presentation. I would like to understand today. See this in terms of this product which you have basically explained here. Uh, in India, we are still way behind in terms of new energy or non-conventional energy penetration in India. So, do you think this is more a strategy which comes in from an advanced perspective in terms of when you have reached every single pocket? And I mean, just from a this question is from a prioritizing your investment perspective. Is it more isn't it more beneficial to go ahead with your non-conventional power generation sources, etc., to instead of going for this at this stage or juncture where India stands?
Uh, so, sir, I'll begin by answering. Number one is that our government has already set a target that by 2030 they're aiming to produce 500 gigawatts of renewable energy. Other than that, if we are currently at thermal power plant model, it's a non-renewable source again. It's harming the environment. So in our model, uh, it's not been implemented in India as of now, but it is successfully been implemented in 40 plus countries. There's one global competitor which is Pavagen, which is doing this for 40 countries, and as we also mentioned in our first slide that in Tokyo railway station in 2000 it has been operational since 2007, and it has still not been there in India.
No, I understand that. All I'm trying to say is how much of okay, let me put it differently. 500 gigawatt is fine, but how much with in terms of an initial pilot project or a capacity of a particular location, what is the kind of power it can produce and how it is scalable in a short time frame, and how can you, in terms of the total contribution to 500 gigawatt, where do you think that this will actually help if we are looking it from that particular perspective?
So, sir, in India, we have so many high footfall areas. So that is why we've done a study which we did for piezoelectric tiles. We did it for New Delhi railway station. We
So
took our
how much,
data
let's
from
let's pause there.
Hmm.
How much energy
Okay.
will that produce only in New Delhi railway station?
So sir, it will produce 2,79,419 units in 1 kilometer span in a year.
And that is how much, how many gigawatts of energy?
So that is 280 megawatts of energy, which is, I mean,
Correct. So
I'll divide
now,
that.
no, that's okay. So now what we are talking about is 280 megawatts of energy, which can be produced on a highly used station like New Delhi in a span of 1 year, for
Mm-hmm.
which you have to go through these the setting up of these tiles, etc. And see, developed country population and their use of these facilities cannot be compared to a country like India, right? You will agree to that. So in that fashion, I what I was saying was, i- do you think it is beneficial to invest in a solar generation or a wind generation plant, or is it worthwhile to put in initial investment in this phase? Is this incremental form of non conventional energy which can go on, or does this meaningfully contribute to your 500 gigawatt target?
So
Sir,
this will,
ac-
you can add.
sir, actually, we are not comparing here our model with the renewable sources of energy. We are actually comparing it with non-renewable or exhaustible source of energy. So we can probably look for other sources. We can exhaust other renewable sources also. Therefore we think that venturing into this model would be a beneficial aspect. And moreover, renovation would be a task for high footfall areas, but we can also think of, rather than, say for example, New Delhi railway station, rather than when we are launching a pilot installation, rather than covering the entire platform, we can think of patches where we can renovate and actually test its feasibility.
Okay, thank you, Sunil.
So, team, so in the comparative analysis that you have done, is there a specific reason that you have taken a depreciation of 7% in your proposed model vis-a-vis 5% in solar panel thermal power, and same is the interest on debt?
Mm-hmm. So, sir, these numbers we've taken from studies, and our studies are based on this. There was a journal published by Emerging Technologies and Innovative Research, and for solar panel, we've talked to industry experts, and uh, and we've also taken figures from Ministry of New and Renewable Technology, and similarly for thermal power plant. So since they have a plant life of 15 years, solar panel and thermal power plant, roughly, I mean, it can be less also in case they are not maintained properly. But for us, 7% depreciation is based on many researches that have been done. And for India specifically, there have been only minimal researches, which is like 5 research, I guess.
So, to be candid, I'm still not very sure if you're saying the plant life is 5 years, how is the depreciation is 7%? And let's forget
Mhm.
this question for the time specific to depreciation. Now, interest on debt. If you're putting up a plant
Mhm.
or any setup, right, the cost of
Mhm.
capital or the interest, how will that differ? For one model, you are considering 12.75%. For the other one, you're considering 10%. If you're
Mhm.
assuming that the source of the capital or the investment that you're looking for, it would be the same, why would the interest differ?
So, sir, source of the capital will not be same for our model. So that is why we are taking it to be higher. because currently these companies that are funding are also private companies, and they're funding from multiple sources. So that is why the interest on debt could be higher over there. However, solar panel model has been there since ages. So the interest on that particular portion would be a little lesser because it has been tested. So the investments are going to be easier.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Team Igniters. That was an incredibly insightful presentation. Now, let's allow our jury a minute to complete scoring the teams. While they make their assessments, let us have some fun. We'll have an interesting trivia question about Reliance. All you need to do is try to guess the answers in the comment section. The first person to answer correctly gets our amazing T.U.P merchandise. Ready? Here we go. Wow. Thanks, Divyansh. You've got it right. Please reach out to support@unstop.com or our social media handles. Now, let's move on to our next team. I'd like to welcome Team Fantastic Four.
Hi, I'm Tausif. And I'm Amor. And together, we are here to present our idea
Green
Green
Fleet.
Fleet.
Let's get straight to it. The logistics industry is crucial to the global economy, but it comes with a serious downside: carbon emissions. The transportation sector contributes almost a quarter of global emissions. That's a massive impact.
Right. And the current systems just aren't efficient enough to address this. That's where Green Fleet comes in, a smart fleet management platform designed to reduce emissions while boosting operational efficiency. Greenfleet combines cutting edge Internet of Things technology, artificial intelligence, and real time data analytics. Our platform helps logistics companies track their fleets, optimize routes, and improve sustainability all at the same time.
Our goal is simple: make logistics smarter and greener. And we are doing this by focusing on three key areas: real time vehicle tracking, AI driven route optimization, and sustainability metrics.
First, we equip vehicles with IoT sensors that provide live data, things like fuel consumption, engine performance, and even emissions. This allows fleet managers to monitor their vehicles in real time, ensuring maximum efficiency.
Next, we use AI algorithms to optimize routes. Our system analyzes both historical and live data to suggest the most efficient paths. It adjusts to changing conditions like traffic or weather to minimize delays and reduce fuel usage.
And lastly, Greenfleet tracks sustainability metrics like carbon emissions and fuel efficiency. So companies can see exactly where they stand and how to improve. We don't just provide data, we offer actionable insights.
So, what's the business case? Green Fleet directly reduces fuel costs by optimizing routes and improving fleet performance. It's a clear return on investment.
And with increasing regulations on sustainability and customers demanding greener practices, Green Fleet positions companies to stay ahead of the curve, both environmentally and financially.
Our solution is scalable, practical, and built for the future. We help logistic companies not just survive, but thrive in a world where sustainability is key. At Green Fleet, we believe logistics can be efficient and eco friendly.
Together, we can drive a future that's smarter, more sustainable, and better for everyone.
Thank you.
Good morning, one and all present here. We are Team Fantastic Four. And today we'll introduce Green Fleet, our solution to help tackle emissions in the transportation sector. So, problem overview: transportation is a major contributor to CO2 emissions, responsible for over 7 billion metric tons in 2022 alone. Cars and vans make up nearly half of this, while road transport accounts for 72% of Europe's transport emissions. With a goal of reducing emissions by 90% by 2050, the European Union's target emphasizes the urgent need for sustainable fleet solutions. This led us to our problem statement: route optimization and sustainability tracking to reduce carbon emissions. Next, the key features of Green Fleet are real time emissions tracking for instant feedback on driving impact, dynamic route suggestions to minimize emissions using real time data on traffic and weather, projected carbon emissions forecasting on weekly and monthly basis to help users proactively manage their environmental impact, push notifications and personalized suggestions for eco-friendly driving and maintenance needs based on driving behavior.
So, Greenplate is designed for both scalability and sustainability. Greenplate uses a subscription based software as a service SaaS model with flexible and tiered pricing. This allows businesses of any size, from small businesses or big organizations, to select features and pricing that suit their fleet needs, ensuring both affordability and scalability. Greenplate's modular architecture supports this flexibility by allowing companies to scale their fleet needs as they grow. From basic emission tracking for small organizations to advanced route optimization and sustainability reporting for big organizations, Green Plate is adaptable at every stage. Looking at sustainability, Green Fleet is committed to reduce logistics emissions by 30% across large fleets, supporting climate goals effectively. This platform is also preparing for future by integrating both hybrid and electric vehicle management. This transition support not only emissions reduction but also enables companies to benefit from government policies for green energies. Furthermore, it aims to partner with renewable energies providers and government agencies. Long term, we envision expanding into autonomous vehicle management and AI driven route prediction as technology advances, making Greenfleet a pivotal player in sustainable logistics. In conclusion, Greenfleet offers both a scalable and a strong commitment to having an environmental impact. With this platform, we aim to support business in reducing their carbon footprint effectively and sustainably. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for this presentation. So a couple of questions. So the first one
Thank you
would
for the
be, you have
presentation,
not
team.
mentioned about
Uh,
anything about what will be the cost of
have you
setup,
done
what
any
will be
competitor
the
analysis
your
on
revenue
this?
model.
Are there any
Uh,
existing players on who are already working on this particular model, and how are they doing it?
We have done a competitor analysis, and there are three existing competitors: Samsara, Geotab, Verizon Connect. But even though they are strong competitors, they haven't done AI route optimization, and they don't include tracking sustainable metrics. So that's what is our differentiating factor.
But I I would assume that that is a simple fix even for the existing players to actually implement it when they are already operating in this particular market. So any reason you think that they have not yet implemented?
So our solution is more focused on the AI route optimization. And so far, when we did the competitive analysis, we didn't seem to find them doing as well as we think we could.
So by AI route optimization, do you mean that if there is a congestion on a particular route, then you will give a prompt to the driver, saying that take an alternative route instead? Is apart from obviously originally scheduling where which route the driver has to take. Is that what you are proposing?
Yes, sir. We
Yeah.
will look at various factors such as weather conditions and the traffic congestion with respect to other vehicles, and then we'll find out using algorithms the best path so that we can reduce carbon emissions and build a more sustainable future.
How is it different from educating your driver to use a Google Map?
Yeah. So speaking about Google Map, like also mentioning one of the recent experiences, Google Map does suggest about the easier like the roads which are the routes which are having less traffic. However, it is unable to predict that in case like people are taking a detour from small gullies. However, there would be immediately a tractor or or some large size vehicle which would be stuck there, which won't be prompted by Google Map that spontaneously that as compared to our app is planning to on the basis of how it will on the basis of the detection of the mass of the object which is actually has entered or penetrated that route or gully. So on the basis of that, it will help the drivers to have a help them to make a proactive decision and change their routes and plan their travel accordingly. So
Further, since our solution is a fleet management based solution, we have attached IoT sensors to multiple cars. So all these cars are talking to each other, and that's what differentiates from Google Maps.
So, just last question from my end. Do you think that developing such kind of a map-based app would have a larger market feasibility for you in terms of making it available to everyone in India at a cost and tying up with different automobile manufacturers, or will this particular business model have a better feasibility, and why?
yeah,
Sir,
initially
we
The
speaking,
have
we
question
are
is because basically your whole genesis of the entire thing is working on a particular well developed or well designed map as explained in the previous question. So that's why this question.
Yes, sir, we have tiered based pricing. That means we have different prices for small organizations and large organizations. For example, the large organizations having a fleet over 5,000 to 500 vehicles, the cost would be around $15,000 to $75,000. And for small organizations, we have around $1,000 cost for initial setup. So since there is tier-based pricing, it will be feasible and easy for organizations of every scale to
No, no.
implement it.
My question was a little different. My question was, are you selling this service only for logistics, or you would have a better market going into even tying up with say manufacturers like Tata Motors, and they would be able to implement this as a inbuilt system throughout their vehicles, whether it is passenger or whether it is commercial. That was the question, because the whole genesis of your product is developing a map which is better and more efficient than Google Maps.
First, we are focusing on logistics sector, and by 2027, since we envision into autonomous vehicle management, we can also focus on other industries like manufacturing for implementing this model.
Okay.
So, Tim, can you just highlight some of the major challenges that you foresee with this setup or this business model? Because even in the whole presentation, you've not spoken anything about the challenges about this model as such.
yeah. So initial challenges, like initially speaking upon, could be the initial setup costs, while large organizations may require customized features to fit complex systems, and our average integration cost could be around could be at maximum 63 lakh rupees. But however, it depends upon the fleet size and customization needs with scalability features designed to ease this transition.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Team Fantastic, for such an incredibly insightful presentation, and a huge round of applause for all the participating teams. The diversity of innovation ideas presented in this round is truly impressive. Today's contest has raised the stakes, promising an even more thrilling journey ahead. As you know, the winners of today's elimination round will be stepping into the semi-finals of T.U.P Season X, where you will be battling against the winners of other elimination rounds. Now, as we build the suspense today, as we build the suspense around today's winners and runner-ups, you will have to hold on to your excitement just a little longer. Rest assured, the results will be announced on our social media handles shortly, so keep those notifications turned on. As we wrap up this elimination round, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the jury for their insightful questions on all the ideas presented today. A big thank you to the audience and the participating teams for creating such an interactive and exciting event with your visionary ideas. You were all fantastic. With that, this is me, Karthik Pathak, signing off for today. Keep following us on our social media handles and stay tuned for further updates. We will see you soon at the TUP Season X semifinals. Until then, take care and have a great day.